You're watching the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. There was Old Town Albuquerque. That's where we're at today. And the pit for number 13 Hampton and the 4 seed Kentucky. Here's the bracket updated now in the Spokane Regional. North Carolina has advanced. They beat Fresno State 82-68. St. John's moving on. They'll play the winner of Stanford, UC Davis later today. All right, Tamika, let's take a look at the Star Watch.
We got to start with Quenisha Perry, Defensive Player of the Year in the MEAC, a fearless, undersized post who had 10 double-doubles on the season. And then off to the 2-time SEC Player of the Year, Victoria Dunlap, who led the SEC in scoring with her dominant presence on both sides of the court.
Let's take a look at our Capital One starting lineups. First for Hampton, it's Choicetta McMillan, Laura Lewis, Jericka Jenkins, who's only 5'4". She's fun to watch. Melanie Warner, and there is Perry. And for the Kentucky Wildcats, their starting 5 is Adia Mathis, Kayla Snowden, Bernicia Pinkett, Brittany Henderson, and Dunlap. Kentucky back in the dance for the 2nd straight year after a run to the Elite 8 last season. And the Lady Pirates won the MEAC tournament for the 2nd straight year, so they're happy to be dancing again. The Lady Pirates are in the dark blue uniforms, Kentucky in their home whites, alongside Tamika Raymond, who won 2 national championships at UConn on Playmatic. And this is a fun time of year. Winner of this game will take on North Carolina, who's already moved on.
This should be very exciting. Kentucky want to come out and just be consistent in this game, and Hampton give it all they got.
Quenisha Perry, who we talked about, to take that jump ball against Dunlap. And the opening tip is controlled by the Lady Pirates.
No surprise, although she is 5'10", she's the most athletic kid on this team. She really has a great second jump.
And there's her first foul of the contest, and it's going to go against Dunlap. As you take a look at her head coach, Matthew Mitchell, in his 4th season, SEC Coach of the Year last year. And he has been a ringing success at Kentucky since coming to Lexington from Morehead State.
And before Morehead State, Tennessee. So he's got some great people to look up to and to pull from.
Here's Hampton leading in. That's Melanie Warner. Can't get the shot to go. Tracked down in the corner by McMillan, who led the MEAC in 3-pointers made with 73 this year. Lewis gets hemmed in on the corner, and now another foul on Kentucky.
2 quick fouls by Kentucky, by their 2 best players. Really want to just contain Hampton.
There's David Six, head coach of the Pirates. Now in his 2nd season, he was the longtime coach at Hampton High School before getting the job at the university. And he won 2 state titles in high school, and they thought, boy, we might have something on our hands here locally. Let's bring him on board. He's been great.
Yes, he's been awesome for them. And he was an interim coach last year when they got to the tournament. Signed him on. He's done a tremendous job at Hampton, getting them to the NCAA tournament 2 times in a row.
And Dunlap with the rebound. Here's Henderson now for Kentucky.
Hampton, really scrappy team. They're going to play all man-to-man this game. They might double in the post. That's about all you're going to see them do. They just cutthroat man.
Dunlap hits her first basket. The SEC Player of the Year, finalist for the Wooden and Naismith Awards.
And we got Ella. She's the Defensive Player of the Year in the SEC. On top of leading them in scoring and all that other great stuff that she brings to the program, she just does it on both ends. Probably one of the only players in the country that can dominate on both ends of the floor.
So the possession arrow favors the Wildcats here, and they lead it 2-0. Kentucky making its 8th trip to the NCAA tournament. They're the 4 seed for the 2nd straight year. They had a great season, their 2nd straight 20-win season. They won 24 games up to this point. Off the miss, this is little Jericka Jenkins. She's taking it herself, throws it up, and gets it to go. Jenkins at 5'4", really the biggest player in terms of points for Hampton. She averages 13.
And she also averages 7 assists a game. She's a playmaker for them. She is the engine that makes Hampton go.
Off the miss for 3. That's off the mark for McMillan. And Dunlap brings it ahead. Dunlap spinning, lost control, and she's called for the travel. Here's Jenkins now, real speed. Boy, she can motor.
She can really motor. I mean, she's listed at 5'5", but I'm telling you, she is 5'3", gets in there. Nice body control, nice finish and transition. It's something that Matthew Mitchell said they have to stop. They have to stop Jericka Jenkins in transition in half-court one-on-one.
Lewis getting away with a foul there. It looked like it was Henderson. Got the rebound. And here comes Kentucky. Game tied at 2. Kentucky had a program record tying 11 wins in the SEC this year. They finished second in the regular season and in the league tournament to Tennessee. Off the miss for Mathis. Hampton has it now, and Coach Six wants him to slow it down. Definitely.
He wants to control the pace of this game. They're not going to be able to beat Kentucky. They said the only way we're going to beat Kentucky is with our defense. They want to bring that presence, which they're doing well. Beginning of this game, got to find a way to score.
Quantisha Perry misses that shot. Pinkett, the jumper, good. Bernicia Pinkett, who signed with North Carolina State out of high school, changed her mind, settled on Kentucky, and Wildcats up by a deuce.
He's also made the all-freshman team in the SEC this year. Tremendous off the bounce, can shoot the three. Great combo guard for Kentucky.
One leading in, she's going to be called for the charge, so Melanie Warner picks up her first. 24-8 overall are the Wildcats. 11-5 they went in SEC play. Most SEC wins in school history. Dunlap, the player of the year in the league. And they won some close games this year. I mean, when games got tight, they found ways to win.
And that's going to help them in this tournament. You're going to play some close games. They got to grit them out. And in those close games, they're best players. And Dunlap and Mathis were the ones who stepped up and made plays.
Riley's in the game now for Kentucky, and that's one thing we should point out too early is the bench. They get 28 points per game on average from the bench.
Kentucky gets 28 from the bench, 25 off turnovers. They force 20-plus turnovers a game. A lot of point production from their defense and from their bench.
And there's Dunlap on the bench right now as Jenkins picks up her first person. And Snowden's going to go to the free throw line to shoot two. Keila Snowden, junior from Lexington. Lexington native, but she started her college career at Akron. Wasn't working out so well for her, so she moved closer to home, and it's working out just fine for the Wildcats.
Yeah, she says she wants to have her own show one day. She's the executive producer of the Matthew Mitchell show there on campus, sets up all the questions, does a little bit of everything. She also is a great three-point shooter for Kentucky.
Got them both. Snowden averages just under 10 points per game. She's at 9. And she led the SEC all year in three-point field goal percentage until the last few games of the regular season. So she is one to watch from outside the arc. Here comes Jenkins again with that speed, and she'll back it out.
Kentucky picking them up full court, trying to make Hampton play a little fast offensively.
Jenkins missed the shot, the putback no good, and a rebound for Samantha Drake of Kentucky.
Although that's not the possession that they wanted, they have to stop Jericka Jenkins from getting in that lane.
Conroy can't get it to go, lost it on the baseline to Laura Lewis of Hampton.
One thing Matthew Mitchell talked about, one thing they're going to have to stick to in this game is controlling Jericka Jenkins from getting in the lane. Open your hips up, they got to keep her in front. Make her take tough twos, contested twos.
Hampton, the 13 seed. That's the best ever for a MEAC women's team since the NCAA field expanded to 64. They've got 5 to shoot. McMillan rolling to the hoop uncontested. 2-point game.
2-point game, and surprisingly, Matthew Mitchell has gone and subbed all of his starters out the game. I think he's maybe resting a little bit more. I know Adia Mathis had some trouble with her back, so she might be resting a little bit, but he's really playing his bench, trying to get him a little experience going to this NCAA tournament.
Plus, that altitude is something to keep in mind. Maybe he's making it a measured pace here early so they can last throughout the contest. 6-4 Kentucky on top here in the high altitude of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the beautiful University of New Mexico campus. Back in a moment. Here's the Hampton Pirate here in Albuquerque. And Hampton big underdogs here to Kentucky today, but it's 6-4 early. Hampton this season under David Six, 25-6 overall, 15-1 in the MEAC. They won the league. Biggest wins this year over James Madison, which won the Colonial Athletic Conference. They also beat Florida out of the SEC, so they've got to win over an SEC team this year. That should give these Lady Pirates some confidence coming into this match.
Yes, they have 2 wins over 2 teams that are playing in this NCAA championship right now. One being Florida, which is an SEC school. So they're 1-6 against SEC. And I think coming to a game like this, when you're Hampton and you're the number 13 seed against the top seed, takes the edge off the front of that jersey.
Jenkins never slowed down and scores. She's got 4 now, and we're tied.
I'm surprised Coach Mitchell's not pulling his hair out, because that's what Kentucky worked on all day yesterday.
Bernicia Pinkett misses the 3. The putback no good from underneath by Mathis, and Mathis is scoreless so far. Avant, I'm going to call her for the charge. Kiara Avant, first player off the bench usually for Hampton, and she's called for the charge.
Here it is, Kiara Avant. Maybe you want to drop that off to Quenisha Perry, but look who's making the play. The SEC Defensive Player of the Year, Victoria Dunlap.
She could be the first All-American at Kentucky since Valerie Still.
Yes.
She's a great player for the Wildcats, and I don't see why it's not going to happen.
No, I mean, she's got a couple records that Valerie has on her, but Valerie Still leads in all categories on both the men and women's side.
Dunlap missed that jumper, tried to track down the rebound. Too many hands in the way. Comes back the other way for Hampton, and now contact here in the front court, and it's going to go against McMillan. As you take a look at Victoria Dunlap's accolades this year, and she really has done it all this season. And the interesting thing about her, Tamika, is when she got to Kentucky, she was not expected to be this good. She has developed. A lot of it on her own, but a lot of it because of the guidance of Matthew Mitchell.
Yes, a lot of people talk about her being this great player. She was also an All-American last year. She only averaged, I think, 12 points coming out of high school. She wasn't recruited by everybody. She's a Tennessee kid.
Right. Out of Nashville.
But she is playing here at Kentucky, and she's a phenomenal player, made a lot of what she's been given. Look, big hands, strong body. One other thing, Valerie Steele, and I don't know how old she is, her body looks exactly like Victoria Dunlap's to this day.
Here's Dunlap now. Kicks it out. Snowden, nice drive, and finish with the right hand.
Nice drive, and she's a 3-point shooter, so people come out and play her. Nice aggressive move, putting on the floor. Getting it easy, too.
Snowden is a communications major at Kentucky and the executive producer of the Coaches Show. Matthew Mitchell's show is produced by Snowden, and I guess they have a lot of fun with it.
They have a lot of fun, but, I mean, that's a big production. What we kind of do.
Yeah. Left-hand shot goes down for Quenisha Perry. The MVP of the MEAC tournament. She averaged 12 during the tournament, also 8 rebounds during those 3 games. So now it's 8-8. Kentucky got their hands full here so far with the Lady Pirates of Hampton. Pinkett, nice move, left it short, and she is going to be called for the charge.
Oh, that was a tough charge. I mean, she pounded her head, and guess what? She jumped right back up. Senior Defensive Player of the Year in the MEAC, making a play, just stepping up, boom, and you see her head bounce off that floor pretty hard. The senior jumps back up, tough kid. They call her Q. They said when they found out they were coming to Albuquerque, New Mexico, she said, "Coach, I don't know how to spell Albuquerque, but I sure am happy that we're going."
She probably knew there was a Q in it.
Oh, yeah. But Coach said she did spell it, so she sold herself a little short there.
So Perry sits down after taking that charge. Hampton has a chance to take the lead. Jenkins has 4 early points here for the Pirates. Lewis throws it up, no good. And tracked down by Abercrombie in the corner. And Hampton will keep it.
One thing I like about Hampton is they play hard. They have a mentality where they just push to be your best every day. That's their motto, and you can see it. They are not backing down to Kentucky. They've come out to fight.
Well, David Six was very confident when we talked with him yesterday. He thinks this is the best chance that Hampton has had in a long time to pull a major upset in their program's history. Avant skips it across for Melanie Warner. 12 minutes to go in the half. 10 on the shot clock as they go into Abercrombie, and she's called for traveling. Got it to go, but it's not going to count. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Kentucky 8, Hampton 8, back at Albuquerque in a moment.
Loved the way, from seniors all the way down to the freshmen, how you prepared for this game.
All right, Trey, thank you very much. Wouldn't it be something if Utah moves on to meet Temple?
Yes, I mean, that's a close game. That would be an upset right there, but Temple, Tyne Cardozo with the win, going in advance.
They call her the silent assassin. Adia Mathis with her first basket of the game for Kentucky. She is soft-spoken but plays big. Jenkins can't get it to go for Hampton. Loose ball. Avant comes up with it. Turns around, tries to put it in. No good. And Conwright, the rebound for Kentucky. Conwright in the game now for Kentucky as Matthew Mitchell has been substituting liberally here early on. Conwright, a defensive specialist. She's got it now.
Played a little point guard at the beginning of the year. It's kind of a utility freshman for him. Whatever he needs out of her, whether it's scoring, defensive, on the defensive end, point guard production, she's there.
And throw it into Samantha Drake. There's a foul called here on Hampton. It's going to go against Perry. Well, don't forget Hartford, Connecticut, Vanderbilt against Louisville, Gardner-Webb, Miami, or St. Francis against Maryland. Sunday at noon, those will be your choices. First round action, the Women's Basketball Championship presented by Capital One on ESPN2 Sunday at noon Eastern. Got a good game here so far in Albuquerque, Kentucky, the 4 seed. Leading by 2 with 11 minutes and change to go here in the first half. Firing it in is Keela Snowden. Dunlap has it on the block and she'll kick it back out and they'll reset.
So I want to see Kentucky get the ball inside the Dunlap, put pressure on Quenisha Perry to get in foul trouble, get her out the game. Dunlap has not got the ball on the post. Got to go to your player of the year.
Out of bounds, and it's a Kentucky turnover. You know, this is a veteran team in the way that you got some senior leadership on the squad, specifically Dunlap. But there are also a lot of young players on this Kentucky roster. 5 true freshmen and a redshirt freshman.
Very young, but all of them playing a lot of minutes. Almost average about 7 minutes a game.
Another jump ball, and possession arrow favors Hampton. Jenkins has been the key for Hampton all season long. Of the 6 losses that this team has this year, 4 of the losses happened while Jenkins was out of commission. She was out with an ankle injury. That's how valuable she has been this season. When she's not around, and when she's not playing well, this team hasn't been able to win. Coming back, Kentucky. Another turnover for the Wildcats, but they take it right back. Quick hands by Snowden.
And no surprise from both of these teams, who both coaches pride themselves on how they can bring their defensive pressure on their opponents.
Now Matthew Mitchell has seen enough. He wants to settle his ladies down. He calls a timeout.
Go with it. Evans with a nice save to Victoria Dunlap to keep the possession. And those are the type of plays that Kentucky's going to have to make to start to build a lead in this game and use their advantage on the inside.
Kentucky has taken advantage of the opportunity here in Albuquerque to see the sights. They went on a tram ride up the Sandia Mountains, right to the peak, nearly 11,000 feet up. We saw the wildlife and the New Mexico landscape, which is beautiful, especially this time of year. Weather's great.
So maybe that's how they got used to altitude. He took them up in the mountains. Smart move by Coach Mitchell.
And you and I talked about it during the first game. He really worked his team out hard yesterday, getting them ready for this game here today.
He said he just tried not to mention the altitude to his team.
Mathis off the miss, put back no good. And a foul right underneath the hoop, and it's going to go against Dunlap, and that's her second.
Right now, Hampton is beating Kentucky in the paint offensively. They're beating them on the boards. They're out-rebounding them. That should not happen with the players that Kentucky has on the inside. And Victoria Dunlap going out the game with 2 fouls. Got to get her the ball.
She led the SEC in points, steals, and field goal percentage. She is an emotional as well as on-the-floor leader for Kentucky, and without her, it's a different team. As they say that, Hampton turns it over. Kentucky gets it back.
Kentucky's doing a good job of getting the ball out of Jericka Jenkins' hands and getting into players who are not used to making plays. Melanie Warner has 3 fouls, and then you have Goodman coming in the game and getting 1 because they're not used to handling that pressure.
So with Dunlap on the bench, Tamika, who does Kentucky look to for leadership right now?
Definitely Adia Mathis. She has to come through for them. Got to take over. She's one of the only players that's very rare that can make a play.
This is Mathis driving, kicking it out for Pinkett. 10 on the shot clock. And she trapped. Yesterday, during the press conference, Adia Mathis mentioned that she was celebrating her birthday, and Victoria Dunlap got up there at the microphone and sang happy birthday to her. They are very tight as well.
Yeah, and I cheered at the end. I mean, it was. She sounded like Beyonce a little bit. I mean, she can really sing. She also sung the national anthem on senior night. She busted out. Nobody knew it was coming. What a great surprise. Adia smiled the whole time. It was a wonderful moment.
The NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship continuing on ESPN2 Sunday with regional coverage of the first round. You'll see Purdue and Kansas State, South Dakota State against Xavier, James Madison in Oklahoma, or Princeton in Georgetown. First round of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship presented by Capital One on ESPN2 tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern. It's been a great tournament so far. And the road to Indianapolis is a short one from Lexington, but Kentucky has been thinking about it all season long. And they've actually made it their motto, 15 miles a day. Kind of the play on the Oregon Trail.
It's 15 mad, the hustle, the grind, the injuries, the pain, everything that goes into a season, the same thing that people had to go through on the Oregon Trail, whether it was a broken wheel or disease, and Coach Mitchell kind of played off that this season.
Here's Hampton with the ball down 2. 9 minutes, 13 seconds to go before halftime. Jericka Jenkins, the junior point guard out of Lancaster, Texas, running the show for the Lady Pirates. 7 on the shot clock. Throws it up and gets it from the free throw line.
And that's one thing that Kentucky's not bringing. They're not containing Jericka Jenkins. They're allowing her to get into the lane and make plays, and they're not boxing out. Right now, Hampton is beating them to the boards.
Jenkins now with 6 points for Hampton. We're tied again at 10. Seven to shoot. Pinkett looking for help. Snowden, 5 on the shot clock. Got in trouble, and she is fouled. McMillan is going to be called for the personal, and that's number 2 on Choicetta McMillan.
Jenkins doing what she does best, back up, splitting the double team. A little bit gets in there and connects on 2. Says they list her 5'5", she's got to be 5'3".
I saw her listed at 5'4".
Well, she might be 5'2".
She might be. Free throws missed for Snowden. She's got another one coming.
Keila Snowden, I think, has made 2 of the best plays in this game, getting to the rim. She gets an easy look earlier on. She gets fouled on this one. It's another thing that Kentucky is doing. They're settling for jump shots, taking a lot of shots outside the paint. Their bread and butter, pull-up jump shots and getting in the lane. And defensively, they're just not bringing it right now. Got to step that up.
So Keila Snowden, 3 for 4 at the line in this game. And Kentucky goes back up by a point. Jenkins pressured in that backcourt. She's got to hustle. Gets it ahead for Perry. And it's poked out of bounds from behind.
Did you see her break it? I mean, they kept trying to trap her, and she did a good job. Exactly what coaches teach. Kind of cat them out, pull it out a little bit, and then accelerate pass and pick the opponent. You want to accelerate behind. She does that well. She did it twice in that possession.
Avant with the right hand, a little short. And Henderson the rebound for the Wildcats. Henderson might be the most improved player from last year for Kentucky.
Definitely most improved player, and plays well off the attention of Dunlap. She knows how to get in there and rebound, just kind of comes in and does her job. Knows she plays right side, right alongside a great player.
She is the number 2 rebounder on the team now for the Wildcats at 5 per game. Here's Mathis with 5 to shoot. She'll kick it into the corner. Snowden for 3. Yes! And the Wildcats lead it by 4 now.
I think Kentucky's getting lucky a little bit. Last second shot, I mean, clear look, but got to get it in the lane.
Answering back with a 3 of her own is Warner.
Big 3 by her. She's shooting a little under 30% on the year. Junior comes in, makes a big play.
And now Hampton forces a turnover as Evans steps on the line. And David 6 and the Hampton Lady Pirates are inspired, down just 1 with under 7.5 to go before halftime.
Have loved the way from
Kentucky head coach Matthew Mitchell not happy with the way his team is playing right now, even though they're up a point. It's not for a lack of trying to inspire his team before the game. Here's how it sounded about 40 minutes or so ago.
I've loved the way from seniors all the way down to the freshmen, how you prepared for this game. All right? And right now, that should give you a tremendous amount of confidence, because I'm telling you right now, I've got a ton of confidence in you right here. So turn it loose, go out there and play Kentucky basketball, and we'll come in here, survive and advance. Here we go, ladies.
Matthew Mitchell, the fourth-year head coach of the Kentucky Wildcats, led the team to the Elite Eight a season ago. And he's got high hopes for this program again in 2011.
Yeah, not very happy there. It's a joy of coaching. The preparation is key, and I bet you number one in that prep was stopping Jericka Jenkins, and that's what they're not doing.
And Melanie Warner is going to get to the free throw line for Hampton. As Megan Conwright picks up her first personal foul. And stepping up to the line here is Warner, a 75% foul shooter. She had a big MEAC tournament, averaged 13 points and 7 rebounds during the 3 games. Last year she was the MEAC tournament MVP. You take a look at Jenkins, and she's just the all-around team MVP.
All-around team MVP, averaging 7 assists. She's second in the nation with that, and she can also put up the points.
Warner got them both. She's got 5 now. And Hampton goes back in front. The longer they stay in this game, the more that Matthew Mitchell is going to start to spin over on that Kentucky sideline. You can bet on it.
And David Dick said that. I think if we can stay in this game, it will be good.
Snowden with her second 3. That'll help the Kentucky cause. She's in double digits already with 11.
He's been the most consistent player for them, Keelan Snowden, with 2 dribble penetrations to the basket and a 3.
And now a turnover as Warner is called for traveling. There's David 6.
Another wall to climb for Hampton was David 6 with their turnovers. He said they're going to have to limit their turnovers.
6:44 to go here before halftime. 2-point lead for Kentucky. Wildcats leading by 2. A 3-pointer on the way from Keelan Snowden, no good. She's had a couple threes here in the first half. Jump ball called, and the Wildcats will keep it. They are the 4 seed taking on the 13 seed Hampton Pirates, the champions of the MEAC Conference. And this is the highest seed in program history for the Lady Pirates. Dunlap picked up a couple of quick fouls. Victoria Dunlap, the SEC Player of the Year, and she has spent a good portion of this first half, Tamika Raymond, on the bench.
It's called for those fouls very quickly, and they really didn't go to her early in the game.
Stolen away. Coming back the other way is Shaquilla Goodman. Tries to finish on the other end, can't do it. Ripped down by Barnett. And here comes Kentucky. Kentucky 1 for 4 from outside the arc here in the half. 5 of 16 shooter. And a 3 for Barnett. Sarah Beth Barnett, Kentucky's Mrs. Basketball and the Gatorade Player of the Year last year in high school.
And that's one thing that she gives this team. Hasn't hit a lot of them, hasn't had a lot of playing time playing behind Victoria Dunlap, but she can step out and hit that 3.
Avon misses the shot. Hampton gets another chance. Perry's putback is no good. And the rebound by Henderson. She has played well here on the glass in the half. Snowden lobbing it down for Barnett on the baseline. Got in trouble under there. Lewis rejects it. And it's out of bounds to Kentucky. Continue to see Dunlap on the bench. And wonder how long Matthew Mitchell can wait. Well, if they keep doing that, she can stay there for a while as Snowden hits her 3rd 3 of the game.
Keelan Snowden stepping up. Got a little action over here. She almost landed in our monitors, but she's really stepping up, hitting the 3s with Mathis and Victoria Dunlap on the bench right now.
turnaround jumper, and the lefty gets it. There's Q's second field goal of the game. Miss on the other end by Riley. Barnett gets it to Henderson, moves in. Her shot is a little strong. Got her on rebound, but they're going to call it for over the back, I believe. Yep, it's going to be the first on Henderson.
Lefty, undersized, very aggressive. Nice fadeaway jump shot. Probably the only shot you can get off on a 6'2" Brittany Henderson, and she nails it.
Juanisha Perry, 13 points, 9 rebounds. You can see her numbers today. 4 points, 2 of 5 from the field. Warner penetrates, and she's going to go to the line. On Friday, we're going to crown the Division II Women's Basketball Championship. Live from St. Joe, Missouri on ESPN2 and ESPN3.com. It comes your way at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. For live stats and game recaps from all of the rounds of every championship, go to NCAA.com. Sarah Beth Barnett picked up that foul as Warner's at the line.
Victoria Dunlap still on the bench. Kentucky's trying to get the ball out of Jericka Jenkins' hands by double-teaming her in their full-court press. But Melanie Warner is really benefiting by being aggressive in transition.
Big rebound by Laura Lewis. So Hampton with a chance to cut back into that deficit. It's going to be last touch by Kentucky. Back-to-back 20-win seasons for Hampton this year. First time as a Division I program. They turned Division I in '95. Jenkins at 5'4", having a hard time seeing over the top of Pinkett, but she got it in. Ten on the shot clock. Winner of this game gets North Carolina. Jenkins drives, misses. And a wasted opportunity there for Hampton.
Tough too, but it's a 1-4 low situation. Kentucky worked on that yesterday, staying in front of the ball. Alicia Pinkett open her hips up a little bit. Decent look by Jenkins.
Kentucky, a measured pace here. Barnett for 3. Got it for the second time in a row. It is Barnett with the triple.
Coming in off the bench. The player year goes down and your freshman steps up and hits 2 threes.
Said it before, she was Miss Basketball last year in Kentucky, and she hasn't had a ton of playing opportunity this year. Sure, not as much as she would like, but she is hitting some big shots here in the NCAA tournament. In and out for Laura Lewis. That crawled right back out.
Barnett's had some of the best playing opportunities in guarding Dunlap and playing against Dunlap in practice.
And now a foul here on Hampton. And Q picks up her first.
And freshman coming in off the bench. What a spark for Coach Mitchell. 2 for 2 from the three-point line.
The NCAA Women's Championship is brought to you by Pennzoil. Turn your engine into a self-cleaning engine. And the new Audi A8.
The beautiful New Mexico landscape outside of Albuquerque. 26-18, Kentucky on top. 3:07 to go in the first. Coming up at halftime, Trey Wingo, Kara Lawson, and Carolyn Peck get you caught up on all the NCAA Women's Championship first-round action from around the country on the Home Depot halftime reports. And it'll be interesting to see how that Utah-Notre Dame game ends up. Sylvia Hatchell, the North Carolina head coach, is paying special attention to this game now. As North Carolina has advanced, they'll get the winner, Kentucky and Hampton, in the second round on Monday night.
They'll get the winner, and she's getting the stat sheets as we get them. She's really paying attention. Head coach sitting over here doing a scout, trying to get her team to the Sweet 16.
There's Samantha Drake at the free throw line for Kentucky. Limited through the season because of a bad bout with the flu that she had. And when she's had her opportunities, she's taken the most of it. And we're happy to say she's really starting to feel better. 27-18, Kentucky on top. Abercrombie, a good battle in there with Drake, and she wins it.
Twice she's used her big body, strong frame to get in there and score around the basket. Nice power move.
Abercrombie, a junior out of Dallas, Texas. She stands 6'3", and Hampton last year in the first round with Duke really had a hard time with Duke's size. Hampton, it appears this year, is not intimidated by the size of Kentucky, and they're hanging right in there as the Wildcats turn it over again.
Hadn't been by JMU or with Florida. And next year he's got some size coming in. He's got a couple JUCO kids, 6'3", 6'2". I mean, it's going to be scary how good Hampton can even be next year.
Jericka Jenkins is just a junior, and she is the heart and soul of this team, so she's coming back, and that's a great place to start. Melanie Warner at the point. They go inside to Abercrombie again, and she'll get to the line. Didn't get the basket, but she has two shots coming.
Nice setup by Jericka Jenkins to read that. She didn't have the angle. She got it to Melanie Warner at the top of the key. Melanie didn't have an angle, created one with the dribble. Nice up-in pass. All that time, Abercrombie was doing her job early, getting post position, and a hard duck in, and almost got the and one.
And she gets the free throw, another one coming. That was the second personal foul on Adia Mathis. And she's going to come out of the game as Matthew Mitchell again goes to his bench here.
A lot of coaches would be, losing their mind right now. Only up a few points, but when you have a bench like his who comes in and they play games, they play a lot of minutes. Defense that he has that can stay in games when your best two players are on the bench. I'm sure he prepared for this.
Sharina Abercrombie with 4 points now. Hampton back within 5. Keila Snowden is bumped by Warner. And the second personal on Melanie Warner. Both teams at the free throw line the rest of the way. Eighth team foul on Hampton. So here's Keila Snowden at the line. She has had a tremendous first half. 14 points for Snowden.
Filling it up. I mean, now, and she knows who's out the game. 15 points, 4 from 7 from the field. She has 2 steals. She knows right now she has to be the one to carry this team offensively to half.
She's got 3 3-pointers here in this first half. And she has got 26 straight games now for the Wildcats, hitting at least 1 3, many times, many more than that. And she is a weapon from outside. Good defense here by the Wildcats, and a timeout called by David Six right in front of that Hampton bench. He was forced into calling the second timeout of the half.
And right on top of it, he gets him out of it before they turn the ball over. He needs every possession. It's Keila Snowden with the drive. Did that a lot early, which opened up her three-point shooting. And she nails that one. Coming off screens, just really keeping Kentucky alive offensively with their 2 best players on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Phenomenal night for Keila Snowden.
16 of Kentucky's 29 points have come from the junior from Lexington. She is not their leading scorer. That belongs to Victoria Dunlap, but Dunlap has been on the bench a lot here in the first half because of the early foul trouble. But Snowden has stepped up and picked up the slack. As you see, Dunlap continues to sit. Riley with the turnover for Kentucky.
It's one thing that can get Kentucky a further lead or get Hampton out the game as they're turning over the ball.
Shot is short, and here come the Lady Pirates trying to cut into the deficit. It's only 7 with 1 minute and 13 seconds to go before halftime. I think Hampton has to be pleased with the way things have gone for the most part here in the first half. Abercrombie, she's got 6.
And did you see that drop step? Nice fake to the middle, drop step, power up, layup. That's what you want to see.
She is not asked to be a scorer. Her job is to rebound and take up space inside. That's what the coaches told us.
Yes.
But she's got 6 here in the first half off the bench.
Yes, and I mean, coming off those screens, she knows right now this is tournament time, and players know they have to step up.
Riley, jump shot is short, and Hampton has it with 35 seconds to go before the break. A 5-second difference between game and shot clock. Jenkins in trouble. They may be forced into another timeout. Instead, it's a jump ball, but Hampton has the possession arrow.
And Sherner Abercrombie just doing a good job coming off reading this cross screen, coming off of it, going into a power post.
Jenkins got it to go. And Hampton is within 3 with 20 seconds to go in the first half.
She came up from that with a smile, but now they got to get down and play some good defense, try to get a stop, and go into the locker room with a 3-point deficit instead of maybe a 5 or 6.
3 on the way. Good for Conwright at the horn. Boy, Kentucky needed that. And they'll have a 6-point lead going into the locker room.
Big play by the freshman, Megan Conwright. She's only shooting 19%, 13 made. That's her 14th free on the season. But one thing with Kentucky, their bench really came in and made plays and kept Kentucky in this game, even kept the lead. Not a strength of hers, but hey, she's a utility freshman that gets it done for Coach Mitchell.
Dunlap, a poor first half for Kentucky, but the other players stepping up. Our halftime score, 32-26, Kentucky. Now, Trey Wingo standing by in the studio with the Home Depot halftime report.